I am suffering from black fatigue. And I say the following with the utmost love that God has put in my very being. I do not want to hear another word on social media if it is not about the advancement, fortification, healing, building, and advancement of the black culture and community in this country. If it is not, I don't want to hear a single solitary word. If you have a problem with an entertainer, a business, or a company, it is very simple. It does not necessitate a movement. All you have to do is don't watch, don't listen, don't visit, don't shop. It is very simple. Do not and quit bringing your behinds on here, exhausting black people with you constantly every week, every month, having a new target, a new person, a new entity, a new something that you're beehiving and wanting a windmill and be angry about to make yourselves, and notice the word that I said, to make yourselves feel better. I don't want to hear another word. It is full outrage. It is malarkey. It is unacceptable. And it is, above all, very embarrassing. If you have a problem with Tyla, it is very simple. Do not watch, do not listen, do not purchase, do not attend anything that relates to her and her art. She did not disrespect Black Americans. You are lying. You are a liar. Again, you are a liar. You just want to be doing something. You all are coming together to attack and beehive on this girl because you said she disrespected Black Americans. No, she did not. She had a problem with you insisting, because you are a Black American, that you would strip her of her diverse cultural background. Uh-huh. That she identified with and belonged to and loved. And you didn't like that. The reason why they refer to us as black is because we come from multiple countries in Africa, the continent of Africa. We have so many great grandparents behind us, maternal and paternal sides, that may have come from other African nations or tribes. They didn't all come from the same place. And because of that, we are referred to as Black Americans. You see, less than 1% of Black Americans are able to identify or know and tell you exactly where, on both sides, maternal and paternal, going all the way back, where they came from and who they belong to. And that is to be expected because of the transatlantic slave trade. However, it is disrespectful and inappropriate to think because someone else has melanin and they've lived on that continent their whole life, they have their own identity, they have their own norms, that you think it's okay because you're a descendant of the transatlantic slave trade, that you think it's okay to strip her or him or them as well. That's a problem. You're a liar. She didn't offend you. She didn't hurt you. She didn't upset you. You're lying. And yes, she would have been lying to just say, "Yeah, I'm black," because the rest of the world know. That's why we're referred to as black. We sit over here and we have so many things that we cannot even agree on as a culture. We're so divided all over the place. We're divided by regions in the country, north, south, east, west, midwest, religious practices, they're divided. You can't even sit here and say you're in the room with someone from California, someone from Texas, and somebody from Maryland, someone from Florida, somebody from North Carolina. Y'all in the same room together. You're all black, and you sit here and tell me you don't work very hard to make sure that everyone know the difference between your specific region, where you from, you and your family from, and why you're better. If you sit there and say you don't, you're a liar. You're a liar. It makes no sense that every time we look around, y'all are looking for somebody else to be pissed off with. That just shows you how we're lacking in leadership, in direction as a culture, as Black Americans. Because our focus right now, if we were really for the culture and for Black people, and we're about legacy, what we would be focusing on right now is figuring out how are we going to ensure that future African Americans are able to attend college with what's going on with the Department of Education being defunded. If we have a problem with the medical system, we would be working very hard to start our own Black hospitals, our own Black health clinics. That's what we would be doing. We would be putting more efforts towards having more Black medical providers. We would be focusing on what do we need to do to start our own Black pharmaceutical companies. We have work to do here. But one thing that is synonymous with Black culture is we're not very good at coming together. That's being proven by how, even at the very core and anchor of Black communities, we are now seeing division. You have children and families fighting with their own parents. It's a trend now for Black children, Black young adults in their 20s, 30s, 40s have absolutely no respect for their families. They sit online, oh, Black families, sometimes it's on your own family. They're toxic. You all don't realize it's synonymous with our culture. You respect nothing about your families. You have no respect for your parents. You have no respect for your grandparents. You have none. And then you want to get surprised and get an error attitude when people don't want to be, they don't want to be associated with that, because according to their cultural norms, that is the most deplorable and the lowest of the low human beings who don't honor their parents and don't honor their families. It is deemed globally the lowest of the low human beings will get online and talk about their women, talk about their parents, talk about their elderly in such a manner, and so disrespectful, entitled, and negative at the same time, and hateful. And you say you feel disrespected. Well, how can you feel disrespected when we're becoming a culture synonymous with not having no problem with disrespecting our own flesh and blood, airing them out in public on social media? The hypocrisy of it all. How dare you don't have the room to be offended about nothing. Nothing. You're becoming very close to being synonymous with the little boy who cried wolf with this faux outrage. Because when something does necessitate our attention and our support, it will not be as effective because you're wearing out your welcome. You saw how we came together for Black Lives Matter, and you want to keep wearing that out. You're wearing out your welcome. You're taking us for granted. You're taking our strength for granted. You're taking our mobilization for granted. You're taking our passion for granted. It is not your trivial little blunt force object for you to, because you need a movement, you need something. That just shows how well our ancestors and how well the elders have done their job, that you can just sit and beat your little thumbs and you want to start a riot and a fight because you all don't have what it takes. Your behinds couldn't march no 50 miles, no 100 miles. Your behinds couldn't assemble to do none of what was done. You can't, you don't have it in you. You want to do everything on social media. You're lazy. And you don't appreciate the sacrifices that were made. You feel inadequate because of yourselves. Now you want to have an enemy, somebody you fight with. Every time we look around, it's somebody else. I don't want to hear another word from you. We can't even decide on what we're going to be called. Are we fundamental Black Americans, African Americans, Negro Americans, Black? What are we? We can't even decide on that. And you have the nerve to not have the common sense that if you don't like her, don't watch her. If you don't like her, don't listen to her. If you don't like her, don't attend her events. It's simple. It don't necessitate a movement. Civil rights is a movement. This mess you all are doing is a bowel movement. That's what it is. It's a bowel movement. All of it. All of them. It's just bowel movements. That's all. Because you're bored and you're lazy. You have no vision or future for this country or our culture. You worried about some entertainer. The rest of us who are sound in our thinking and committed to excellence, committed to Black history, committed to Black legacy, committed to things that matter. We actually have things to get done. But when it's time for us to come together to do those things, we can't. But it never failed when it comes to the bowel movements, honey. They clump together like it's nobody's business. They show up in the thousands for that. But when it's things that matter, it is a minority of the minority show up for work. You wouldn't talk about you feel disrespected. You disrespect your own. You're disrespecting our culture, having this crap out like it's an actual movement or something to be outraged about. You are disrespecting our culture. You're disrespecting us. You don't know what it means to be Black. If you did, honey, we don't major in the minor. We know how to cut stuff off. Don't listen, don't look if we don't like it. We don't need no backup or no supporters for that. But what we do need help and support with, we don't have enough Black parental volunteers showing up. We don't have enough Black parents getting their children off these video games. We don't have enough well-paying jobs. We don't have enough Black doctors. We need Black hospitals. We need more Black doctor practices. We need that. We need more Black scientists. We need more Black leaders and less Black followers. You see, those are the things. See, we can't get those kind of conversations and elevate in that manner. We need to figure out what is going on to the point that we don't recognize when things are said in the Bible about what it looks like when the end. It says in the end, and the people think it means the end of the time. No, it means the end of civilizations. It means the end of societies. It means the end of cultures. You see, certain markers you should be looking for, and they're right there in the Bible. In the end, you should see daughter against mother, mother against daughter, daughter-in-law against mother-in-law. It shows this breakdown in families. That is the end of a people, and those are things that are prevalent right now for us. So can we talk about those things? Can we address those things? Can we start some underground petitions or something where we will not come online and dishonor our elders, our families, our loved ones? We would not be synonymous with that because it's becoming known globally that we disrespect and dishonor our very own parents and our grandparents and calling them names and calling them toxic. And other cultures don't dishonor theirs like that. So we need to figure out how can we learn how to bridle our tongues and handle things in our homes. Because we're seeing a trend of following destructive and poor patterns. We have the same problem with our young people. And see, that lead to them going out there to destroy their own lives and taking the lives of other people. And then we got the ones who think they so good and righteous, they online following trends and patterns that destroy their families, destroy their character, destroy their morals, destroy their faith. Can we have those kind of meetings and conversations? I do not want to hear a sound. Use common sense. If you don't like an artist or a person, it doesn't necessitate a commentary. Excuse me. Don't watch it. Don't listen. Next is common sense. Next. Next. Did you hear what I said? Next. And you all need to be grown enough and black enough to learn how to tell people next. When they come up with these ridiculous bowel movements, when they think they're having a black movement, it's a bowel movement of mess. You need to know how to tell them next. Can we get to something substantial? Next. Can we talk about something that matters? Next. Next. Any black educational content creators for pre-K toddlers? We have Miss Rachel. We're still black Miss Rachel. Next. Can we have those conversations, please? Next. We've had Steve on Blues Clues. The last time we saw a black man trying to do anything related to education and pre-K was like Gullah Gullah Island or Bill's Kids or Billy or something like that. Where's the black male version of Miss Rachel? Can we have that conversation? Thank you. Thank you. Because do you know why she was offended? Because she's not okay with you stripping her of her culture and identity. Because you don't have one and we don't. And we understand that. And that's why we're trying to make our own. But we can't even get that right, can we? I don't want to hear another word. I am done with it. I'm not saying anything else about it. It will be addressed and continue to be addressed until you learn to recognize when people are weaponizing, misusing your time, your passions, your ability, and all of it to waste your time on bowel movements. You need to also ask yourself, why aren't you researching real movements that do need your time, talent, and attention for us to be successful as a culture and a community? You're on this internet telling Africans to go back to Africa. Weren't them crackers just telling you that? Weren't them crackers telling your grandparents that? Didn't they tell your great grandparents that? And you sitting there on the internet saying the same thing? What it, the ultimate sign of defeat is when you repeat your enemy. When you began saying and doing the same things that your adversary did, you have been ultimately defeated. And it's even more problematic when you don't recognize that you're using your enemy's words on other people. So was it really your enemy or was it your idol? It can't be both. Because if you're repeating them, you want to have the same superiority over people. Is it your adversary or was it your idol? Yeah, we don't need bowel movements, but we do need to have a conversation. Racist people, i.e., that's who I call crackers. Racist people. They are just getting a good old hoot and kick and giggle out of seeing this mess. And we don't even recognize it. Better yet, we don't have the integrity to call it out. That's what you want to use our unity for?